Hi, my name is Vance McCulla. I'm the fire chief of the JSB Joint Fire District, and we appreciate everyone coming out today and talk about our levy. We'll go over just a quick 5-minute PowerPoint, just some question and answers if anyone has anything that they'd like to ask, and then I'll talk about our little pamphlet here. I've been a fire chief for about 1.5 years now. I joined the department back in 1998, born and raised in this community, you're definitely vested here. We have a part-time volunteer department, so we're a combination department with about 41 members, 15 part-time, 26 volunteer. We serve an area of 144 square miles, which encompasses all of Johnson Township, St. Paris, parts of Jackson, Concord, Mad River, and in Brown Township and Fletcher over Miami County. The department was formed in 1884 after a fire destroyed most of the downtown businesses in 1883. Which you'll be able to see out front, our 1884 steamer, which is also here in this picture. This is about half our personnel. This is a family-oriented department. It's just hard to get 41 people at the same place, same time with all their families. But we are a very family-oriented department. We cannot do what we do without our families. So the support of our families, coming in and helping kids. You obviously see a lot of kids in there. So they're very involved in this as well. It's not just one spouse, it's everybody. So JSB provides a 24/7 EMS coverage on station. We have 2 people here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they cover our first out medic unit. The second and third medic and all of our fire responses are 100% volunteer. So those are people come from home, they're missing birthdays, Christmas, stuff like that to come in and take care of emergencies. We have some firefighters that are scuba divers, we have some water rescue, rope rescue, we have green bin rescue, hazmat, we provide a variety of service. A little bit about our budget, so I don't believe in asking for money without telling you where we're at and kind of where we're heading here. So we do have 2 current levies. We have a levy that originated in 1998 that brings in about $130,000 a year. It does not increase or decrease. And the same thing with our 2009 levy, which is actually the one that's up for renewal that we're asking for the yes vote. And that brings in about $152,000 every year. And it has since every year since 2009. Contracts, so those are going to be all the contracts with our townships and other villages. So that brings in about $164,000 a year. Then our other is like donations. It may be grants that we get or other contracts that we may have out there. Then we have billing revenue. So this is our EMS billing. If we transport someone to the hospital, we do bill their insurance company. If you live in our contracted area, we do what we call soft billing. So you get 3 bills. If you don't pay it, we write it off. If you do not live in our contracted area, so if someone comes in from out of the area, they get a car crash out front, if we have to take them to the hospital, then they get a hard bill. So basically, they are taken to collections over their bill. And that's just so we can recoup that money to keep that money here. And then our farmland does bring in about $16,000 off of a cash rating there. So in total, just over $695,000. And then our expenditures, so the number one expenditure we have is 100% payroll. So $347,000 in payroll, that's what we use to pay our part-time personnel to get them in here. And there's been a lot of feedback on Facebook that they don't make enough, and I agree with that. Our EMTs are making $14 an hour, so so that really needs to go up, and we need to pay our personnel more. And then we have other various categories here. I tried to break it down the best I could, but we have limited space. It's about $45,000 a year of maintenance and repairs, $168,000 for loans for the building and vehicles, $68,000 tools and equipment. We do have money in there for training for personnel to go to EMS training or fire training. Utilities, just like everybody else, we pay electric and gas. That gets to be very expensive. Insurance, software systems, which is how we report to the state, and then other contracted services and other expenses that fall into those other categories. And then totally more than $785,000. You can public records request this, and you come down the station out in our front vestibule. There is a table with records requests. You fill it out, and we'll gladly give you our budget. So, what are we asking for? Well, we're obviously asking for a yes vote on our renewal with increase. It's a 2.65 mil increase, and that would cost about $92.75 per $100,000 valuation. So on a $100,000 home, it'd be about $8 or less than $8 a month. So what are we going to do with the money? Because that's always a big question. So the first thing is to offset our deficit, which I just talked about. We're spending more than what we're bringing in, and unfortunately, we are just trying to operate at this point. There's not a lot of extra expenditures there. So we're just trying to operate a fire department. But one of our big ticket items here is we need a new engine. So we currently have 2 engines. The NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Association, they state that every engine that's 15 years old needs to be put in reserve status. And then once the engine reaches 25 years old, it needs to be replaced. Now, with that being said, we just sold a 40-year-old engine, and that was really still a good engine, but it's 40 years old. There's no one really driving around a 40-year-old vehicle, especially a life-saving one. So we do need to get a new engine in here. Our newest one is 24 years old. So engine 95 is right here on this side. It is a 1999 Pierce built out of Wisconsin. And as I said, it's 24 years old. By the time we spec out a new engine and the manufacturer's able to build it and get it here, we're looking 2 to 3 more years. So this engine has to last us that long. And then engine 96 over here on the right side, our international, it is 31 years old. It's a 1992 KME, and it was built out in Pennsylvania. And again, 31 years old. It's still a good engine, but for a life-saving piece of equipment, we really need to get something a little newer in here. The second thing that we need to do is we need to replace this medic here. This is a 2001 Horton ambulance built out of Columbus, Ohio. It has about 200,000 miles on it. It's a real rough ride. It's starting to become a maintenance nightmare. It's just best that we start a replacement program on our medic units and on our trucks. The third thing is we need new fire gear. So we'd like to start replacing 4 to 5 sets every year. A coat and paint ensemble is about $3,500 to $4,000 per set. And the NFPA states that we need to replace our fire gear every 10 years. So that's a standard we have to abide by. And the question always is why? Why do you need to replace it every 10 years? If it's not worn out, then there's no need to replace it. Well, the answer is that fire gear has a new version that comes out every 5 years. So by the time we replace it, 2 new versions has come out. Building construction has changed. Fires burn hotter. There's new chemicals. So we need to protect our firefighters from this kind of stuff. The cancer initiative is a new thing that's come out within the last 5 years. So we need to protect our firefighters from cancer. Stats are out there that firefighters are 3 times as likely to get cancer than the average person. So we definitely want to get them into some new gear. And again, it'll just be a constant replacement of 4 to 5 sets every year. You just get a rotation going. So another question has been, why don't you get a grant? This slide is actually should have been changed. It's not that we're not eligible. It's that our grant writer said we have about a 1% chance of receiving a grant for a new engine. So we thought it was probably not wise to spend the money to have him write a grant when we have about a 1% chance. Fortunately, within the past 2 to 3 years, we have received 2 AFG grants for new trucks. So we have a new 3,000-gallon tanker that we took possession of last September, and then we were just awarded a new brush truck, which we should take possession of next September. September 5th it is actually our delivery date in 2024 for our new brush truck. So totally those together were about $700,000. So that's actually fantastic that we were able to get those 2 trucks, and total they cost our local taxpayers about $38,000. Over the past 5 years, we've received grants for mobile pieces of equipment taking the burden off our local taxpayers. So I just have a slide here just kind of showing. So all radios have been moved over to the MARC system, which is what Champaign County and Miami County both use. Clark County's using it, Logan County's using it. So we're able to talk to everybody now. But those were about $50,000 in those MARC radios. We got new air packs. Just like the fire gear, the air packs have to be switched out every so many years. So COVID money was used to buy 8 new air packs, totaling $56,000. We already talked about our tanker. It totaled up to about $500,000. Rescue tools, there in the middle, about $80,000 for those. So that's tools to stabilize vehicles, cut vehicles apart, airbags to lift vehicles. So that, those were all replaced. In the top right, Johnson Township gave us some COVID money, and we were able to purchase 3 new cardiac monitors, which we were desperate in need of, and about $90,000 for those. I think it might have just been a little bit over $90,000. $8,500 for an electric fan and a thermal imaging camera. So the thermal imager is a camera we can use on the inside of a smoky house where it's zero visibility for us, and we're able to find victims, find the fire. And then Firehouse Subs down here on the right, the bottom right, donated 3 Lucas devices. So those are CPR machines. It's a mechanical machine that gives constant, high quality CPR. Assistant Chief Clay Atkins, he's in charge of our grants. He actually had just got a BWC grant for new particulate hoods, which is, there again, for the Cancer Initiative. We have a grant out with BWC for these stair chairs. They're battery-powered stair chairs. It reduces back injuries for our personnel. And those are $40,000 each. It's only costing us $12,000. So those grants don't last for long, so we have to capture them at, whenever they become available. As I spoke before, we did a new brush truck coming. This is our current brush truck. It's a 1989 Chevy truck that we just put a skid unit in the back. There's a lot of safety issues with this. Currently on a brush fire, we have to have a guy riding up on top of another truck. That's not the safest place for him to be. So there's safety features like that a new truck will definitely come with and keep our personnel safe. My ultimate goal is safety. I want to get my personnel home to their families, safe and sound. So if there's no questions, we will be going door to door. We have these pamphlets. We'll be passing them out. If you're not home or you don't answer, we'll just slip them in your door, leave them on your doorstep. On the very back, there's a QR code. If you'd like to know how this is going to affect your property specifically, you can scan that QR code, punch in your name and your address, and it will take you to your property, and it will show you what you currently pay, and on the far right, it'll show you what your increase is. We have a lot of social media sites here that we're putting this information out on, but also on the inside, there's another QR code, and this will take you to our most recent videos that we've uploaded on the social media. A lot of great information here. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, come down, stop, take a tour. But we definitely appreciate everyone coming out today, and look forward to talking to everybody in the